New returns in Masterpiece Manager version 11. Right now we're looking at the item grid. Notice how we got items in different colors. Items in red are sold, green is in stock, blue's on approval, and so forth. Let's look at some sold items because those are on transaction and we're going to do a new return on them. So let's go look at this red dress item by Jan Harrison. And if I go to the stock locations tab here, you can see that it was entered on May 11th and then sold on May 11th, about 1 minute later. So we're going to go ahead and do a return. If I go to the transactions, I notice transaction 1001. So I'm going to go to my transactions and do a return on it. So first thing I'm going to do is go to transaction list. And first thing to notice is that returns are listed in red with regular transactions in black. You can also see on the return column here that there's a yes for returns and a no for not being returned. So that's also another way to filter. So we're going to look at transaction 1001 here, which is on the bottom. Notice there's two items on this transaction. You can return both of them, or you can return one at a time, which is what we're going to do. We're going to only want to return the red dress item. So I'm just going to click on one of the items in the transaction, and I'm going to click the return button in the top right. The transaction screen is going to open up where you can then return the items that you want. So if I have 10 items on here, I can scroll down and just click on, let's say, 3 of them that I want returned. Also notice here that you have the transaction type is set to return instead of new sell. Okay, so the red dress, it's really easy to do. Basically, I'm just going to press this button here to say return item, and notice how all of the price figures went to a negative amount instead of positive. And then I'm going to go to the payments tab, and basically the amount that I'm returning automatically created a line item with the exact same pay type, although I can change that if I would like. Though I would say probably 90% of the time the pay type will be the same that you're returning, but again, you can change that. So it's basically that simple. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save and close now, and then let's see what happens. So you can see a new transaction was created. The original one was 1001, and now 1025 has been created. It's now in red. And if I go to, let's see, the original transaction and open it up, if I press the download print button, it says sales return for the receipt and everything is negative. Okay, so now let's go back to the item record. So inventory item list. And I'm going to scroll down to, up to the red dress, which as you can see now is back into stock. Let me go ahead and double click and open it. And go to the stock location, so you can see that it was sold on May 11th and I just returned it today. So it went from stock to sold, from sold back to stock. So it always goes back to the location that it was just at. And if I go to the transaction tab, it says the original transaction was on May 11th and then a return was done at 1025. So it keeps all that history for you. So that's the process of new returns.